When Saudi Arabia unveiled its plans for the Mukaab, a colossal cube capable of engulfing 20 Empire State Buildings, the initial reaction was laughter and skepticism. In 2023, it seemed more like a flashy, futuristic stunt than a feasible project. Standing 400 meters tall, wide, and deep, the Mukaab, Arabic for the cube, was pitched as the largest volume-based structure ever envisioned by humanity. It would be 5 times bigger than the current record holder, Boeing's factory in Everett, Washington. The idea bordered on surreal, transforming a simple geometric form into an ultra-technological, immersive urban hub. But despite the early mockery, something changed. By 2024, excavation had begun. Satellite images showed the cube's layout taking shape in the heart of Riyadh. What many once laughed off was beginning to look like an uncomfortable reality. Perhaps the impossible really was under construction. To grasp the Mukaab's scale, imagine compressing the volume of 20 Empire State Buildings, each 443 meters tall, into a single three-dimensional space, not taller, but denser. The project defies conventional engineering and urban planning, proposing something so colossal, it redefines what construction can be. Inside, the cube will house an entire city: hotels, cinemas, museums, entertainment venues, even hanging gardens. The core idea is to turn urban experience into something magical, where tech, design, and entertainment blend seamlessly, all of it wrapped in a fully immersive holographic dome. The name Mukaab reflects both the simplicity of its shape and the boldness of its ambition. It's more than a building. It's a symbolic, technological, and architectural manifesto from a country determined to be known for more than oil. The cube is just the crown jewel of a much larger project, New Murabba, a sweeping plan to reinvent urban life in Riyadh. The goal is to build a new, fully modern district designed for functionality, sustainability, tourism, and business. The message is clear. Saudi Arabia wants to reshape its global image, shifting from a reliance on oil to a future rooted in innovation and entertainment. It's all part of Vision 2030, the nation's strategic roadmap for economic diversification and regional leadership in tech and culture. In this context, the Mukaab becomes more than a landmark. It's a symbol and showcase. Its monumental cubical form is both a nod to modernist design and a bold challenge to the norms of global architecture. When we hear world's largest building, we usually think tallest. But the Mukaab is aiming for another record. It wants to be the most voluminous. With 64 million cubic meters of space, it's set to eclipse any structure currently standing. For perspective, Boeing's Everett factory, currently the largest by volume, measures around 13 million cubic meters. The Mukaab would be 5 times that. And it's being built in a flat, previously undeveloped stretch of desert at the center of Riyadh. To sculpt space on this scale is both an engineering feat and a political statement. It's Saudi Arabia saying, "We're not just evolving, we're setting the standard for what's next." If the Mukaab's size is jaw-dropping, its interior is even more audacious. At its core will be an immersive dome covered with cutting-edge holographic technology that transports visitors to other worlds, from deep oceans to alien landscapes. But this dome isn't just decoration. It's the soul of the structure, a place where senses are pushed to their limits and reality itself is reimagined. The goal is to create a space where digital experiences merge with physical environments, offering a new kind of tourism and leisure. At the center of this virtual universe will rise a spiral tower, taller than the Eiffel Tower, filled with restaurants, hotels, and cinemas. A gravitational and technological core that transforms the Mukaab into something beyond architecture, a self-contained universe. The Mukaab isn't just a building, it's a compressed city. Within its 400-meter sides, the design includes enough space to host up to 250,000 people. That includes residential areas, hotels, cultural centers, commercial zones, and leisure facilities spread across multiple levels. The goal is to create a self-contained urban microcosm where climate, transportation, and even time itself feel manageable. With internal transit networks, hanging gardens, and immersive technologies, visitors would never need to leave the cube to enjoy everything a modern metropolis offers. It's an idea that blends science fiction with precision engineering, a futuristic habitat designed to eliminate distance while maximizing comfort, safety, and entertainment, all encapsulated inside a single, monumental architectural object. Michael Dyke, CEO of the new Mukaab development company, called the Mukaab the most complex engineering project ever undertaken. And he's not exaggerating. The cube challenges the laws of physics, construction scale, and current technology, all in one project. Under his leadership, it has become a blend of audacious ambition and relentless innovation. For Dyke, completing the Mukaab by 2030 isn't just a strategic target. It's proof that Saudi Arabia can deliver something the world has never seen. At the same time, Dyke has become the public face of institutional optimism, even in the face of concerns about financing, technical feasibility, and tight deadlines. His message is clear: the impossible just needs planning, investment, and political will. The Mukaab is directly tied to the Vision 2030 timeline, and more specifically, to the World Expo 2030, a global event set to place Riyadh in the international spotlight. For organizers, there's no room for delays. The cube must be operational by the end of the decade. With fewer than 6 years on the clock, the pressure is mounting. Construction has begun, but it's still in the foundational phase. The rest of the structure, with all its technical complexity, has yet to be built. Every month lost increases the challenge. This race against time isn't just an engineering battle, it's a test of global perception. To skeptics, the deadline feels impossible. To visionaries, it's a rare opportunity to redefine the future of architecture. The 2030 World Expo will take place in Riyadh and is seen as Saudi Arabia's biggest stage to showcase its new identity to the world. If completed, the Mukaab will be the centerpiece, a symbol of modernity, innovation, and national ambition. The event will attract millions over several months. Having a fully operational Mukaab could redefine global perception of Saudi Arabia, positioning it as a cutting-edge tech and tourism hub. That's why the Mukaab is more than a structure. It's a branding strategy. Its presence at the expo will serve as proof that the nation can deliver on bold promises and that its future is no longer solely tied to oil. In September 2024, satellite images revealed the first visible outlines of what would become the Mukaab. A massive 400-meter excavation began to appear exactly where the cube was planned. The promise was no longer just a digital render. Shortly after, the company leading the project announced that 86% of the excavation was complete. 10 million cubic meters of earth had been removed by more than 250 excavators and 900 workers. It was the first tangible signal that the project was real. Though small compared to what remains to be done, this initial work served a strategic purpose: to prove to the world and to investors that the Mukaab isn't just a concept, it's a reality under construction. The Mukaab's excavation wasn't just a preliminary step, it was a symbolic milestone. With 10 million cubic meters of earth removed, that's already 1/6 of the cube's total volume, giving us a glimpse into the sheer scale of this undertaking. Over 250 excavators and a 900-person crew worked in shifts to kick off what's set to become the largest building by volume on Earth. The logistics, pace, and precision of the operation resemble a military campaign, designed to impress and persuade. Yet this massive number is just the foundation. The base of the Mukaab marks the literal beginning of a futuristic vision, one that relies on every centimeter dug to become real. A vertical city inside a cube, rising from the sand. Despite the visible progress, skepticism remains high. Initially, the Mukaab's estimated cost was $50 billion, but by 2023, only $3.6 billion had been secured, just over 7% of what's needed. This financial gap made investors cautious. While the initial funding came from Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the remainder was expected to come from foreign capital, which hasn't materialized as planned. The question looms: how do you finish a $50 billion project without the money? There's no clear answer yet, but the continued push to showcase progress suggests part of the strategy is to win over investors through the illusion of momentum. In recent interviews, Michael Dike has sidestepped direct questions about fundraising. But in October 2024, he made a telling statement: "We have a finite level of capital, and we need partners." It's a clear sign that funding remains a major hurdle. Even with construction underway, full financing for the Mukaab is still uncertain. The strategy seems to be build just enough to make it look inevitable, and let that visible progress attract the rest of the capital. It's a risky tactic, but not uncommon in megaprojects. Visible action reassures investors that the project is real. The paradox is clear. Progress requires money, and money requires visible progress. One of the cube's biggest challenges isn't physical, it's technological. The immersive experience at its core, the holographic dome, doesn't yet exist at the scale required. Even Dike has acknowledged this in recent interviews. While interactive projections and holograms do exist, nothing compares to what's being proposed: a dome wrapped in dynamic visuals and simulated environments that transport visitors to other worlds. It's not just entertainment, it's sensory engineering. Some speculate that the solution could involve massive LED panels, like those used in the Sphere in Las Vegas, but even that would require a scale 20 times larger than anything available today. This is where the Mukaab teeters between visionary and fantastical. Las Vegas's Sphere currently boasts the world's largest LED screen, 15,000 square meters. And yet, that would cover only a fraction of what the Mukaab would need. Estimates suggest its dome would require a screen 20 times larger to fulfill its promise. Creating a dome of that size with the required resolution, clarity, and interactivity isn't just difficult, it's unprecedented. Experts in visual tech still don't know how it could be implemented with today's tools. If completed, it won't just be the largest building by volume, it'll also be the largest immersive media installation in history. The only question is, can they invent the tech in time, or will ambitions have to be rewritten? In November 2024, Michael Dike used the phrase Phase 1 for the first time when discussing the Mukaab. It was a subtle but telling sign. Perhaps the goal isn't to finish everything by 2030, just a functional version in time for the expo. This first phase might include only the structural shell, the central tower, and some tourism infrastructure. The full holographic experience and futuristic features could come later. A pragmatic strategy that still delivers the visual and symbolic punch. This phased approach has worked before. Boeing's record-holding factory was built in stages over decades. In megaprojects, sometimes done enough is the real goal. Announcing progress, showing excavation footage, releasing renderings, and repeating bold deadlines, all of it serves one purpose: to draw in investment. In megaprojects, narrative matters as much as steel and concrete. The belief that something massive is in motion naturally draws attention and funding. If the world believes the Mukaab will be finished, investors feel safer placing bets. And so, the image of constant progress must be carefully maintained. In that sense, the Mukaab becomes a showcase of ambition. Every public update, every interview, every futuristic visual feeds that narrative. It's a high-stakes game of perception, and Saudi Arabia is playing it well. The Mukaab isn't the only Saudi megaproject under global scrutiny. The Line, a futuristic linear city spanning 170 kilometers, also faced setbacks. Rumors now suggest only 2% will be built by 2030. That comparison is a warning. Even the most high-profile, politically backed projects face technical, economic, and social obstacles. Sometimes they're scaled back or quietly delayed. Could the Mukaab face the same fate? Possibly. But it has an advantage. It's more compact, visually striking, and closer to becoming a tangible symbol. It's literally a monument in the shape of a cube. If Phase 1 is completed by Expo 2030, with the main structure built and partially functional, the Mukaab will fulfill its role as Saudi Arabia's futuristic postcard. But what happens after? Phase 2 could include the holographic dome, rooftop gardens, immersive interiors, and luxury amenities. In other words, the cube's skeleton comes first, the technological soul comes later. A strategy that offers immediate impact with long-term evolution. And the story might not end with Expo 2030. Saudi Arabia is also hosting the 2034 FIFA World Cup. That event could become a second deadline, extending the Mukaab's relevance and global visibility for years to come. The Mukaab is more than architecture. It's a symbol of national transformation, a display of ambition, and a bet on a future driven by technology, tourism, and culture. It's a bold attempt to rewrite a country's story. Its success depends on many variables: funding, technology, timing, and above all, trust. But even if it's never fully completed, it's already reshaping global conversations around the cities of tomorrow and radical architecture. If it's finished, the Mukaab will be a global icon. If it fails, it will be a cautionary tale about the limits of human ambition. Either way, it has earned its place in history as the moment humanity looked at a cube and saw the future inside it. The cube is still a promise, but it promises more than concrete. It promises to change how the world sees architecture, technology, and even entire nations. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this project will be completed as planned, or become another unfinished utopia? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love deep dives into mega projects that challenge logic, hit like, share, and subscribe, because in the next video, we might just show you what's being built, where no one thought it was possible.